Governorship candidate of the Action Alliance in the 2023 Kogi Governorship election. Olayinka Braimoh is an astute real estate developer and politician. Braimoh emerged candidate of the party after defeating his closest opposition, Simon Aku, to emerge the party's flag bearer. The November 11th governorship election is expected to produce the successor to incumbent Governor Yahaya Bello, whose performance after 8 years has drawn mixed reviews and comments. Olayinka Braimoh joins me tonight on Politics HQ as we discuss his candidacy, expectation, plans, and chances. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Olayinka Braimoh, and thanks for joining us on Politics HQ. Mr. Braimoh, could you kindly unmute your device, please?
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Now let's get straight to it. Could you kindly share some of your specific experiences, accomplishments from your past? Looking at your political career, we do know you've done quite well in the private sector as a real estate person, but what are your political antecedents, and what do you believe uniquely qualifies you for the role of Kogi State Governor?
Well, I've been in politics now for just about a year, though my father was a politician, and growing up in the house, I learned quite a lot growing up as a small kid then, while he was actively in politics. So I think over the years, I've not been involved, but of course, there's this keen interest in it, and I've been studying and analyzing politics. But I think today, actively, I've been in it for about a year, and it's been interesting so far.
Okay. Now, Mr. Braimoh, looking at the political landscape in Nigeria, your platform, the Action Alliance, is not a household name. You're going to be going against more established political parties that have been in existence for about 20 or more than 10 years. Now, what chance do you stand against these established political parties, and why your choice of Action Alliance?
I think from the 2023 election result, it's obviously clear that it's not about party anymore, but it's about the personality. It's about the candidate, what the candidate has to offer, as against the platform. The political party remains a platform, a vehicle to win elections, to be on the ballot based on our constitution. So it's more of the candidate, given the situation today, that voters are more enlightened as to know, be able to choose among candidates. Knowing the best candidate, voters are more enlightened today. So it's not a problem. And the choice of Action Alliance, by the way, the slogan of Action Alliance does align well with my vision, which is wealth creation and wealth distribution. I will make people happy. You know, the slogan of Action Alliance is let the masses live. So that aligns well with my vision.
Now, talking about your vision, why did you decide to run for the office of governor of the state? I mean, you're looking at your antecedents, lots of your experience. You did say you grew up in a family where your father was a politician and all of that, but your active political experience only just started over a year ago, and you're going to be facing established politicians that have been there for quite some time and have been in the trenches. They've contested several elections. The first question is, why did you decide to leave the relative peace and calm of private sector to go into the murky waters of Nigerian politics. What's your motivation and driving principle behind that?
It's because of a burden. Sometimes last year, I had this burden, the burden of our people living in abject poverty. I tried to push it away, but it wouldn't go. And this burden is what has led me into politics. Our people are in poverty, abject poverty. We've had 4 administrations in Kogi State over 2 decades. Yet our people are poor. Poverty has been on the increase consistently. Today, most families have to beg before they can eat in Kogi State. A lot of our people are suffering in abject poverty. Now, it's this burden that is my driver into politics. Because to be able to cause a change, to effect a change in this regard, you need to have the executive power. And having this executive power, you need to go into elections, into politics, to be able to, you need to win an election for you to be able to win. Now, talking about going against politicians that have been there for a very long time. Yes, it's gold. They've been there for a very long time, but nothing to show for it. So, leaving the relative peace and calm of the private sector and coming into politics, I'm sure, I mean, you describe it as murky waters, but I believe we can swim through the murky waters and come out victorious because this is a vision. Uh, this is an assignment for me, and it's not an ambition. It is an assignment to get our people out of poverty, an assignment to create wealth for our people. This is my drive, my assignment. Wealth creation, wealth distribution, taking our people out of poverty.
Mr. Olayinka Braimoh, you did talk about one of the pressing issues and challenges facing the people of your state, Kogi State today, is the issue of poverty. You also mentioned a personal type of burden that you need to take and an assignment to get them out of this poverty that you feel they are living in now. Can you provide a detailed, beyond poverty, a detailed analysis of the most pressing challenges facing the people of your state, Kogi State today? And can you explain how, it's very important, the how part of the question, how your administration will tackle these issues should you emerge governor?
All right. Kogi State, over 2 decades, we've had 4 governors over 2 decades. And uh, their dependency on federal allocation has led to limited cash in circulation. So our people are poor because we have limited cash in circulation in our economy. So the governors we've had, from my opinion and sampled opinions and survey, what we realize is the best governor so far, based on our survey, happens to be the first executive governor of the state. He's done most projects. A lot of projects in the state were done by him, Prince Abubakar Audu, late Prince Abubakar Audu of Blessed. And then, but civil servants did give him a second time because he couldn't fulfill some salary obligations. Then Governor Ibrahim Idris, he paid salaries all through his administration, but he could not do lots of projects. And all of these are due to the fact that we don't have enough money in circulation in our economy, the dependency of federal. So today, our budget as a state for 2023 is 172 billion. Our IGR last year was 18 billion. Projected for this year is 24 billion. Out of the 172 billion naira budget, 58% of that budget is recurrent expenditure, 42% capital projects. Out of this 42%, 7.5% of that is going to go back to the federal government as value added tax. When you look at all of these things, we don't have enough money in circulation. So what do we need to do? We need to drive in cash flow into our economy to be able to get poverty out. It means we need to have more money in our economy. for us to be able to get poverty out of our state, for us to have more money in our economy. What we need to do is to empower our people, help our people to succeed, help our people to make money. How do we help our people to make money? It means we must exchange products. We must have products we are taking out of our state for monies to come into our state. We must have services we are exchanging for money. Our people need to get out of poverty. How do we do this? By empowering them, driving in cash flow from solid minerals, tourism, agriculture, and trade. That's the STAT. That's the acronym for driving in cash flow into our economy. Solid minerals, for instance, there's a process of converting these solid minerals we have. We don't own it. Solid minerals belong to the federal government. But I understand the process, having been actively involved in that sector for about 10 years in prospecting, licensing, exploration, and exploitation, and understanding the legal framework required for strategic partnership. This is a process we're going to use to convert these solid minerals into monies into our economy. 2, tourism. The geographical configuration we have in Kogi State is amazing. Tourism is the commercial organization and operation of holidays and visits to places of interest. We have several places of interest in Kogi State. The confluence is there, the only confluence in Nigeria. We have Mount Patti, which is about 1,500 feet above sea level, right in the heart of the city, with amazing views. We have a Baja Plateau that is always cold throughout the year. It's about 1,500 feet above sea level as well. We have Usikoko Cave. We have Obangogo in Kaba with the spring water. It's a hill, beautiful, fantastic, amazing configuration. We have Omi Dam. Omi Dam is in Java West local government. It has an amazing view surrounded by hills. It was commissioned on the 12th of May 1998 by General Abdul Salami Abubakar. This dam has 4 major benefits that we're not taking advantage of. Today, 1, power generation, water reticulation for the people, irrigation, and tourism. Because of the amazing view, it will be a fantastic place for resorts and holiday homes. Then we have Oraha in Mopa. We have the Eton Bridge in Olamaboro and several other monuments across our state. We intend to drive in traffic by developing all these tourist locations and destinations.
But do you have the I mean, looking at the IGR, you did say it's 18 billion. Do you have the resources? It does take a lot of resources to actualize some of these dreams and these things you've put in your manifesto. Where are you going to get the resources to achieve this blueprint?
Getting money is easy, and I'll tell you. First of all, we have the short term, we have the midterm, and we have the long term sources of getting funding. We are going to engage in public-private partnership, strategic partnership in driving in this development, because we need to bring in the private sector to work with. This is just going to be policy. We have to be strategic. It's not as if we're just going to walk to the bank to pick up money. We carry out our feasibility, because to drive in money, for instance, in terms of solid minerals, we have minerals that we can do 3 months exploration activities. I mean, short-term exploration like lithium, like tantalite. You can complete all this exploration within 3 to 6 months. To do this, we bring in technical partnership, and then with issuing necessary guarantees, we'll be able to access funding for this. Because when we have wealth creation as our goal, it means that our set objectives will be make money, save money, and grow the economy. So what we're going to do in getting in funding for this project is through strategic partnership with the private sector. It will help us to drive in cash flow for this project.
Now, staying with you, Mr. Braimoh, education is paramount, and we can't stress the importance of education because of education. that has gotten you to where you are today. Your father was a teacher and politician. What concrete steps would you take to revamp the educational system in Kogi State from primary to tertiary levels to ensure access to quality education for all? Because you're a beneficiary of quality education.
In terms of our education, today, Kogi State, we have a total of about 2,052 public primary school and about 865 public secondary school. Now, most of our schools, in terms of classroom infrastructure, they're not up. I mean, like for some of the schools, we have only one classroom for JSS 1 to SS3. So our plan is to follow the SDG 4, Sustainable Development Goal 4, that is inclusive, qualitative, and free education for the first 12 years. Today in Kogi State, we have a ratio of 1 to 45, 1 to 40, I mean, depending on the local government where we're talking about. So that is what is happening in Kogi State. But we need to invest money both in the classroom infrastructure and the personnel. We must have quality personnel. But to have quality personnel, you need money. And that's why I was talking about the fact we need to drive in cash flow into the economy, because if our people are not making money, the government cannot make money. Because for you to make money, you must exchange product or service for money to come in. The only free money we are getting is the federal allocation. And because federal allocation is no longer dependable and reliable because of the 87 trillion that the federal government is owing, whereby we use our 96% of our revenue last year to service debt. So we must drive in money. The bedrock, I mean, the foundation, the root of our problem right now is lack of funds. And teachers are getting ration salary in the primary school today because the government will tell you they don't have enough funds to do that. So our primary goal first is to be able to drive in cash flow, because we need money to invest in education. Investing in education is viewing it as development for human capital development. That's what we look at education as. So we intend to meet the Sustainable Development Goal 4 in 3 years. We're going to meet this goal in 3 years by investing heavily, viewing education as an investment rather than an expenditure.
Now, Mr. Olayinka Braimoh, your background is in real estate and you do understand the importance of infrastructure development. It's a common promise made by politicians during campaigns. Can you specify the major infrastructure projects looking at the needs assessment of your state, Kogi State, you intend to prioritize and how you plan to fund and execute them? And it's quite ironic that the incumbent Governor Yahaya Bello, during the last electioneering campaign season, did destroy roads, important infrastructure project. He claimed he did it for security reasons. So, how do you intend to prioritize infrastructure projects? And which one could you see, based on your observation, that would stimulate economic growth and also help to improve employment in the state?
All right. In terms of infrastructure, of course, road infrastructure is critical to economic growth. Why do I say that? Because our start agenda, solid minerals, tourism, agriculture, and trade, we need to have our road infrastructure in place. Why? Because we are bounded by 10 states, and we have access to these 10 states through federal roads of about 1,172 kilometers of federal road through our state. And most of these roads are not in good condition. And for people to be able to move goods and across the state, we need to have our road infrastructure intact. I've been to Basa local government, and I went there. There's no 500-meter road that is in an entire local government. Same thing goes for Ibaji, roads. Same thing goes for my own community where I come from. it's a happening tax even going to my community. Cooper North, Cooper South, you can get to these places with vehicles. So many parts of Kogi State today, you have to use motorcycle. And most of our people in all of these communities are largely farmers. It's difficult for them to get their produce out of the farm to get their produce to the market. So people come in to buy their produce at sometimes below the cost price because they just have to sell because they need to survive. So our road infrastructure is extremely important and is critical. For us to do this road infrastructure, of course, we need to make money. We need to drive in cash flow into our economy. That's why I keep talking about wealth creation and wealth distribution, because under our third agenda, which is the financial security and food security agenda, it's important for us to fix our road to ensure that all the roads in all the local government access to infrastructure, to road infrastructure is extremely important for economic growth because we must be able to move food from our farms to the market. As I've previously analyzed, today we are not producing in Kogi State what we are consuming. We are still buying food, soybeans from Zamfara and some part of the north, despite having 29,833 square kilometers of land area. That is the 13th largest in Nigeria and is bigger than the entire southeast of Nigeria put together. So we don't really have business with poverty as it were. All we just need to do is to be able to convert these our land assets into wealth for our people, and we'll have enough money to be able to do all the entire road infrastructure across the state. Mind you, looking at our budget of 172 billion and 42% capital project, the challenge we have currently is that looking at our land area, it means that we'll need to do more roads to connect. You can compare Abia, Imo, Anambra, Enugu, and Ebonyi states. The entire Kogi state is bigger than those 5 states put together. The
In
land
terms of
area,
land
which means
mass, yeah.
in terms of land mass, yes. So which means we'll need more money to be able to do the road infrastructure to connect our communities together. It means that we must drive in cash flow into this economy. And one of the ways of driving this cash flow in our start agenda is agriculture. We intend to train 100,000 farmers on regenerative agriculture over 3 years. 1 hectare per household, we issue them C of O, 1 hectare for a farmer. And 1 hectare will take a household out of poverty in 24 to 36 months on regenerative agriculture. How we intend to do this is to train our people, give them the land, give them CFO. When you give CFO, you are creating instrument for funding. And looking at the markets that we have, we'll be able to keep monies in our economy at average of 500 naira per person in Kogi State. It means we spend about 2.2 billion naira daily and about 66 billion naira every month on food consumption. It means we'll be able to keep on food sufficiency. We'll be able to keep this amount of money within our economy, thereby increasing the money in circulation in our economy. I'll take it further. We are bounded by 10 states with a combined population of about 56 million people, targeting to feed 15 million people on a daily basis at average of 500 naira per person. It means we will be having about 7.5 billion naira daily money in circulation in our economy, and every 100 days we're talking about 750 billion naira, about $1 billion in our economy just on food.
I mean, it's a very
And
lofty ideas, Mr. Olayinka Braimoh, but let's talk about youth unemployment. It's a pervasive issue, not just only in Kogi State, but all over the Federation. You happen to be part of this constituency. You've interacted with a lot of young people in the course of your discharge of your duties and your business endeavors. Could you detail your job creation strategy, especially for young Kogites, young people from Kogi State? And how do you plan to encourage entrepreneurship and skill development using your experience, your vast experience and knowledge from the private sector?
in terms of job creation, regenerative agriculture alone, this 1 hectare, we create jobs for 6 people, 6 members of a household. It means 100,000 hectares over 3 years would have created 600,000 jobs over 3 years on regenerative agriculture. That's on agriculture end. And then for the young people, the same young people that would want to go into agriculture, technology, simple definition of technology. Technology is an enabler. So what we intend to do is to have co-working spaces strategically located in urban centers to be able to help our people to get started. I mean, we opened one co-working tailoring shop for some students in Kaba recently, whereby they can go there. Those ones that want to go into tailoring can go there to sew. They don't have money to buy the equipment, but there's a place they can go, do their sewing, and then pay just a token for sustainability, with the student union government to be able to use the equipment there to produce, uh, uh, to be able to sew to service their customers. Now, this we intend to do at a larger scale for various sectors of the economy. This will help entrepreneurship development. So you don't need to wait till you have the big or the huge capital before you can start business. Driving in cash flow into our economy will help create all of these opportunities because you drive in cash first before you train people to provide the services. If you don't drive in cash to an economy, you will not be able to provide those services because if those services are available, they will not have patronage if there's no money in the economy. You see, the reason why I'm saying we are dealing with this issue from the root.
Hello, Mr. Braimoh, do we still have connection with you? You're watching Politics HQ and News Central Television. We're currently engaged in a conversation with Olayinka Braimoh, Kogi State Gubernatorial candidate for the upcoming elections in Kogi State in November. And he's of the Action Alliance. We've been talking about his plans and his vision for the state of Kogi if he becomes elected as governor. Mr. Braimoh, do we still have you there with us? Okay, we don't. We seem to have lost connection with Mr. Olayinka Braimoh, the gubernatorial candidate of Action Alliance in the November elections. He will be going against the incumbent favorite of the APC, the ruling All Progressive Congress, and of course, Senator Dino Melaye of the People's Democratic Party. I believe this is where we'll wrap up the conversation with Mr. Braimoh. And coming up in the second segment, we'll look at the People's Democratic Party presenting new evidence obtained over the certificate saga concerning President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the Supreme Court. They're set to file a fresh case at the Supreme Court. Thank you very much for staying with us. This is Politics HQ. We'll go on a quick break. When we return, we'll continue our conversation.